Imagine realizing your fate, whether you would survive and have a long living life, or that day would be the last you ever breathed at the age of 8 years old. When I was 8 years old, my family was trekking its way across the country to fulfill its destiny, the annual Kovach trip to our secret lake and a secret part of the mountains where we would backpack up to and fish from a beautiful lake and enjoy our 70-year family tradition. And this would be my first year. At 8 years old, I was so excited. It has been bestowed to me my entire life that this was something that I should and will look forward to every year for the rest of my existence. And at 8 years old, I thought, how cool is this? I get to hike up into the mountains with my dad and my grandpa, sit on logs and fish and pull out these amazing trout that would come from the lakes. And they talked about the stories upon stories of all the amazing experiences they had. But at 8 years old, I was highly unprepared for this trip. Little did I understand and know that this backpacking trip, well, first of all, backpacking is one of the most difficult sports out there. It is painful, it is long enduring, and it is the definition of perseverance. I didn't know this. So I packed my bag with all of the 8-year-old essentials like action figures, Cheetos, and hot dogs, and Dum Dums, and all the things you can imagine you'd want to be snacking on around the campfire, sharing stories with your family, anything heavy, not even thinking that I would have to spend hours hauling that on my back. When we arrived at the trailhead, I came to a very quick realization that this was not going to be an easy hike, nor was it going to be at all a trek that would last minutes, yet it would take hours. In my mind, I thought it's just a hike over the hill. We'll get there really fast. Well, a hike over the hill was 8 miles, and the first two are all uphill, what they call switchbacks. Switchbacks go back and forth up the mountain. And as I threw on my way too heavy pack for an 8-year-old in a small build and frame, I quickly felt the weight dig into my shoulders and my feet began to sweat. And you don't want that because as you begin hiking and you've got sweaty feet, you know what comes next? Blisters. So I'm hiking and I'm not just 100 feet into this journey when I start to feel the blisters coming. I am sweating everything I've got. And I am realizing how much pain is going to be a part of this experience. And I started to do what every 8-year-old would do. I start with the whimpers, I start with the whines, I start with the tears until a certain point in all of this, my dad took me aside, put me on a rock, sat me down, and looked me in the eye and reminded me of who I am, of who I was, of what we were doing today. And of those reminders, he included the destiny, the fulfillment, the responsibility, the continued relationship that we had with this tradition. And it was that we were going to always give our best, that we would hike up that mountain and it was always going to be okay, but it is going to have a little bit of hurt. It's going to have a little bit of pain. And I had to believe that one, I could do it, but two, that this was worth it. And in that moment, I realized, you know what? At least if there's one thing I can control, it's 1 foot at a time. And so an 8 mile hike, which should only take a few hours, triple that because I counted every step. Another step one, another step one, because that's all that I could control. And in there slipped out a few 8-year-old swears, like gosh darn diggity do, and oh, that hurt a lot. Whatever you can imagine that came out of my mouth. But I pushed and I remembered the advice that my dad, my mentor, my hero gave to me and reminded me who I was. That belief turned into confidence. That confidence became a faith that could not be destroyed. And it ultimately led to hours passing and just a final few steps before my dad reminded me there's one other tradition, Jon, that you need to remember. And that is once you reach the lake, you're supposed to drop your pack off and run back and help the next person with their backpack. And I was thinking to myself, it's enough of a journey just getting up there. How the heck am I going to do that? Well, he said this with only about 200 feet left in the journey, because as I made 200 more steps, I found myself at the camp, took off my backpack, rejoiced, threw my hands in the air, little 8-year-old pumps, just, yeah, we did it. And I reminded myself, there's one more thing I've got to do. And I had to take that extra step. And I tightened up my laces on my shoes, sprinted back to my father, grabbed his backpack, which was 10 times heavier than mine, and somehow, some way took the leftover steps in this journey, dragged his backpack and my body to the final destination of the camp, where I began a really long and lasting tradition that I have done every year since. And I am so proud of that. But I want to share with you some principles amongst this story and many others that I think that need to be told. Because first of all, faith in Think and Grow Rich is the second step to riches. And why? It's because faith is the head chemist of the mind. When faith is blended with vibration of thought, it transmits into infinite intelligence. And in my mind, that day, when I developed a faith that I could personally put my mind and body to the test and achieve the distance that was required to achieve our destination, I became something different that day. My confidence soared through the roof. You can always develop faith, and there are many ways to do it, but visualization of and belief in attainment of your desires, your ultimate goals, your dreams, your aspirations, and so much more. That is what this second step to riches is all about, because you can help other people and yourself develop confidence through this idea of faith. And I like to believe that faith isn't a leap of faith, but a leap with faith, because God gave us the talents, the abilities, the strengths to do what it is that we want to do. We are equipped with everything we need. I always say everything you need is already inside you. And in this case, all you've got to do is take the steps necessary, pun intended, takes the steps necessary to move closer in attaining your goal. Your belief or your faith is the element which determines the action of your subconscious mind. Napoleon Hill taught us that both poverty and riches are the offspring of thought. You choose poverty or riches. We despise poverty. This is not a community for those who enable poverty. We are a community that focuses on the riches that we develop in our minds, and that is the offspring of thought. Napoleon also said that they are the creators of their own misfortunes. He's talking about us or anyone else because of negative beliefs, or which is picked up by the subconscious mind and translated into its physical equivalent. Okay. There are no limitations to the mind except those we acknowledge. Both poverty and riches are the offspring of thought. Let me share with you and leave you with this. I believe that the self confidence formula taught in Think and Grow Rich is an incredible way for you to begin to believe in your ability to think and grow rich. And I myself have come up with affirmations to help boost your self confidence based on that formula. I'm not going to teach you or tell you what that formula is. I invite you to pick up this book right here. Okay. Think and Grow Rich. Turn to chapter 3, the second step to riches, which is about faith. And I want you to read through that self confidence formula. But in that, you'll find that the power behind repetition and affirmations is how you boost self confidence and your personal belief or faith in yourself. And here are 5 great affirmations that turn your thoughts into the results. Your subconscious mind begins to act in the physical equivalent of that which you believe. Here's the first one. This one's about belief. I want you to repeat after me or write these down. I'll have them in the show notes, but please take note of this. Number 1, I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action toward the attainment And I here and now promise to render such belief. I believe that when you begin to share and express personal affirmations and manifestations, you need to be enthusiastic. You need to use your hands, use your mouth, use your face, use energy. Because if you just read them out loud, it's not enough. You need to really begin to believe them. Here's the second one, and this one's about visualization. I realize that dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily on becoming the person I intend to become. And between 10 to 30 minutes daily, that is something I do not live without. I am all about visualization. Here's a third affirmation you might consider. I know through the principles of autosuggestion, which is a term we use here in Think and Grow Rich, that any desire that I persistently hold in my mind and will eventually seek expression through some practical means of attaining it, I will devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of personal and self-confidence. That one is a personal declaration that I do every single day. Also, I always hold this up to my champion circle friends and members. This is my desire statement. This is my daily declaration. This is what I tell people and myself that I will do and work towards within a 90-day sprint. A couple more affirmations for you. I have clearly written down a description of my definite purpose in life, and I will never stop trying until I shall have developed sufficient self-confidence for its attainment. Another great declaration. And last, this one's about memorization. This is the fifth affirmation I encourage you to consider. I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I will engage in no transaction which does not benefit my desire. That's something I encourage you to memorize, because as you begin to think and grow rich, part of that includes the dispelling or the distinguishing or the getting rid of process of anything that does not serve your purpose, your aspirations, your fulfillment, and your desire. A couple questions I want to leave you with to consider. What do you believe your desire will bring to your life? Literally sit down, close your eyes, envision, what does your desire bring to your life? That activity, that practice will continually build upon each and every memory and create the physical attributes that will literally come into existence as you build the confidence and belief in them. How is attaining this goal necessary for your future and existence? Another question I would consider is, how can you develop deeper, stronger faith today or every day? And last, would positive affirmations have helped you in the past? For example, some people have said, you can do this. You got this. I am capable. I am able. I am strong. I am beautiful. I am amazing. I am smart. I am is one of the most powerful affirmations. And if you fill in the blanks, you can find yourself in an equivalent, in a comparison, and in an equation that is equality amongst you and the attainment of your desires and goals. I'm Jon Kovach Jr. Yes, I'm the founder of Champion Circle. Yes, this has become my project, my life, my existence, and I want to teach and train as many people as I can to help them overcome their challenges. But most importantly, if there's one principle you can walk away with, I hope that you learn to develop confidence in your beliefs and in faith. And with that, I can't wait for you to apply these principles, try these affirmations out, to answer some of these questions for yourself and in your life, and also learn from the other experts and trainers here at Champion Circle. Thank you.